Here are 4 reasons you should not make marriage the goal of dating. Number 1, clarity, not marriage, should be the goal of dating. When marriage is your goal for dating, you're going to have a lot of fear in dating people because you're not going to know if you want to marry them. But that should be the point of dating, not to marry the person, but to find out if you want to marry that person, and more importantly, if God is actually leading you to marry that person. So when marriage is your goal, it causes a lot of fear and it puts too much pressure on the relationship too soon. In addition to that, if you think marriage is a win and breaking up is a failure for dating, you're going to overlook a lot of red flags and again, try to stay with this person even though God's really leading you to break up. Ephesians 5:15 through 17 is a great passage to apply in this circumstance. So don't waste time dating someone you know you should not date, or dating someone you know you should marry. Rather, use dating to help you figure out what God's will is. Use dating to find clarity. Number 2, confirmation, not marriage, should be the goal of dating. As I just said in point 1, if you really know God is telling you to marry someone, you should not date that person. You should just marry them because that would be obeying what God is saying. However, until you can really date someone for an appropriate amount of time, you won't really know if your feelings that this person is the one are confirmed through external evidence. So I believe a lot of people think they know that God is telling them to marry this person, and I believe a lot of those people are right and they actually will marry that person. But I also know a lot of those people are wrong and they think they're going to marry that person, but they actually won't. Therefore, you should use dating as a way of finding confirmation for what you feel like God is saying. When God reveals the one, you will date this person, the relationship will be healthy, and your inner feelings will be confirmed by outside evidence that God is providing. Proverbs 30 verse 5 states, "Every word of God proves true." When something is truly said by God, it will be confirmed in reality by actually happening. Number 3, date to learn more about yourself and other people rather than trying to marry the first person that you date. There are basically 2 common schools of thought amongst Christians when it comes to the goal of dating, and they really fall into the courting camp and the dating camp. The courting camp would typically say that you shouldn't court somebody until you have a strong sense that this might be the person you want to marry one day. And on the other hand, the dating camp would typically value a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship for what it is, and they're happy just to date without necessarily focusing on marriage. Personally, I believe that the courting model is too restrictive and too conservative, and I believe the dating model is often too worldly and leads you into sin quite easily. I encourage people to take the best of both camps and basically make a hybrid approach where, unlike courting, you're willing to give people a chance because you don't know if they're the one. So take the courting mindset and value marriage, and take the dating mindset and value relationship experiences, and form a hybrid approach that is focused on finding the one while still giving people a chance without taking every relationship too seriously too soon. Through it all, depend on the Lord for guidance. And number 4, date to glorify God. Many people think that to get married, the entry price is to glorify God. So glorifying God becomes a means. It becomes a process you must go through to find the one. And the one, the marriage that you've always wanted, is the payoff for glorifying God. And that's really an unbiblical viewpoint. What we want to do instead is to see glorifying God as the end result we want in everything that we do, and thus we will use everything, including dating, as a means of glorifying God. You want to use dating to glorify God. Don't use glorifying God to better your chances in dating. So if you want to know how to glorify God in a dating relationship, I unpack that in great detail in this video right here. I'm Mark from ApplyGodsWord.com. Hope this was helpful, and until next time, God bless.